In this video, I'll be testing these Quechua 2 seconds tents against rain. I put them through a 1-hour rain test, a flooded yard, and also a whopping 3-day rain test. Let's find out what happened. The polyester Rainfly has 2000 mm of water resistance and provides full coverage protection from the rain. I checked the Rainfly seams and they all seem to be taped. Both the regular 2 seconds tent and the fresh and black tent have curved roofs, so water doesn't collect at the top and instead drips down. I did notice that if you don't pull the tent out tight by guying out the tent, a little bit of water would pool at the top, like here. If you guy it out though, the tent will be taut and no water will pool at the top. Both the regular 2 seconds tent and the fresh and black tent have flooring made of polyethylene with 5000 mm of water resistance. Both also come with bathed up features that extend up to about 5 inches high. I found this especially useful in case there's minor flooding. When it rains for many hours at a time, my yard would be partially flooded and my Quechua tents would end up sitting in like an inch of water. And no water would leak into the tent through the flooring because of the bathed up feature, which is seriously awesome. But here's the problem. For my regular 2 seconds tent, at the 2 corners at the back of the tent there are these seams. They have been factory taped as you can see here, but because this is a very old tent of mine and I never resealed these seams on my own, a little bit of water started leaking into the tent at about 30 minutes in. As for my fresh and black 2 seconds tent, I noticed that water started leaking in through these seams in the flooring near the front of the tent. Both tents have these seams at the back and at the front as well, which seem to be the most vulnerable in the rain. The regular 2 seconds tent has 1 rear vent and 2 gaps in the Rainfly here, 1 on each length of the tent for more ventilation. During the rain test, no water leaked into the tent through the rear vent and the 2 gaps in the Rainfly. I even left the rear vent open once like this, and surprisingly no water got into the inner tent body. The fresh and black 2 seconds tent also has the same 2 gaps in the Rainfly as well as 2 pretty large vents, and you can find 1 of these vents on each length of the tent. There's also 1 small rear vent. I was able to leave all of these vents open without any rain getting into the inner tent body. I checked all the seams on the main tent body and found that none of them were taped because they're all fully protected by the Rainfly anyway. Only the seams on the bathtub flooring were taped. Throughout all of my rain tests, from the 1-hour light rain test to the 3-day heavy rain test, I never once found the tent body to be wet. All the walls and the roof stayed completely dry because the protection from the Rainfly is just that good. Okay, so basically I put both Quechua tents through an hour of light rain and both tents were dry with no leaks at all, even in the flooring. I also put both Quechua tents through light flooding in my yard, and apart from a little bit of leaking through the floor seam, the rest of the tent was dry. There was no leaking through the flooring itself, even though I never placed a ground sheet underneath. Separately, I actually used the regular 2 seconds tent over a 3-day period of heavy afternoon thunderstorms where it was raining for about 3 hours a day. Apart from a little bit of leaking from the back corner seam because of the light flooding, the rest of the tent body was remarkably dry. I was actually really surprised at how well it held up to rain. I also put both Quechua tents through 1 hour of moderate rain, and only the fresh and black tent was leaking through the floor seam, while the regular 2 seconds tent was still dry. I suspect that it's because my fresh and black tent is quite a bit older than the regular tent, so the seam tape had degraded more and let more water in. So in conclusion, the most vulnerable parts of the Quechua 2 seconds tents are the floor seams. If you expect heavy rains, you might want to renew the sealing on the seams, especially if your tent is old. But apart from that, the rest of the Quechua tent is seriously quite water resistant. For a full review on both the fresh and black and the regular Quechua 2 seconds tents, check out these 2 videos right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.